This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
What's up?
What's going on, George? Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Feeling a little under the weather, but I'm sparky. I'm ready.
Fucking Sparky.
I'm ready to go. So welcome back. Thank you guys for tuning in every week. As we like to say, we appreciate you. Please like, share, subscribe, smash that like button.
Smash it.
Right? Just thank you guys. We appreciate it. Obviously, I know we've missed a couple weeks here and there.
I apologize.
We've been busy. George had vacation. We had 2 weeks of traveling for work, and it's been a shit show.
A little bit of a shit show.
We're going
to try and
do
our best to stay on track from now on.
Yeah, we're going to try to clean that shit show up, guys. We're going to smear the shit show all over the place.
He shit everywhere! Look what he did! He shit all over the wall!
I don't know if you want to smear shit. That just doesn't sound good. That sounds horrible, actually.
It does. We're going to make it a lot worse. But we're going to have fun while we do it.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we have we're going to do a shorter but information-filled show today.
We know how much you guys love these.
So we have some I wouldn't say giant news, but we have some good news for 952. We had 2 contracts ratified recently, Spicer Paper and OCTA, and I know there's, differing opinions on all of it, but we'll at least get the details, see what's going on from the people that negotiated those contracts, George.
Sounds good.
So
Spicer Paper,
without further ado,
never heard of
Spicer Paper. I mean, they do paper.
Yeah, but where are they located at? They're in the OC, obviously, but where?
Actually, I think they're in Ontario or something.
Really?
But I
okay.
Don't put words in my mouth. I got to double check, but.
Okay.
Let's call Mr. John Green, president of Local 952.
President of Local 952.
He is actually going to have all
That's
that
my
information
boss.
for us. That is my boss. Little inside
there from Miguel.
But that is my boss. Mr. John Green.
What's going on?
President of Local 952. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
It's good to talk to you, Mr. President.
Doing pretty good. I got you on speaker here with our audience and George over there in the co-host seat.
Oh, wow. Hey, how's it going, George?
Good, John. How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing yard work.
Nice.
So George had a question. Where exactly is Spicer Paper located?
It's in Santa Fe Springs.
Okay. See, Santa Fe Springs. And
yeah.
they're a paper manufacturer, correct?
So they don't make paper itself. What they do is they bring the paper in, and they cut it down to size. So whatever, say if you go buy a box of paper from Staples, it's all cut down. So that's what they do. They have machines that cut everything down to the size, and they can make posters, whatever. They're actually getting into, I think, wrapping private label beer cans and all kinds of stuff they're trying to get into now.
Maybe we can get them to wrap the OCST beer. I know, it's been a while.
We took a while to spell that one out.
Yeah, forgot my own show name.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
So how many members do we have over there?
They just bought Connemara, which was another paper company that was out in Riverside.
Okay. And
we just merged and brought them in the union. So we're somewhere around 55 to 60 members, I think.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if how much of the information you can give me, but what are some of the highlights of the contract that they just ratified?
We already ratified it, so I'm good. I can give you the details of it. It's already ratified.
Nice.
We're getting ready to get them to sign off on the actual contract itself. So, that being said, I guess wages, I think I got a lot of contracts going on right now.
Yeah,
So
I know you do.
But I think they got $2.25 in the first year, $1.25 in the second year, and
Nice.
$1 in the third year.
Not bad.
Awesome.
Which wages alone, I think, is somewhere around 18% on the average. They have different classifications with different pay rates, but ultimately, I think it's around 18% wages alone.
Nice.
Normally, they got 5 cents a year in pension. It's a 3-year deal. We ended up getting 30 cents in the pension on top of the wages.
Not bad.
But the big thing that we did was their health and welfare. In the last contract, they had set a cap, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the cap was.
I think it was like 2,000, right?
No, it was 14. I think they were paying $14.91.
Oh, okay.
They were paying, the company was paying $14.91, and our members were paying 100% after that.
Yeah.
And then, as everybody knows, the health and welfare is going up, kind of a little bit crazy now. So we got them to raise, and in the first year, basically eat the total increase on the health and welfare for year one. I think right now our guys were paying like $7.50 or something a week. For health and welfare, we actually cut them down to a little over $5 a week for their health and welfare.
Nice.
But then we got the increases to go to years 2 and 3, and we got the company to agree to a 60-40 split. Company paying 60%, our guys paying 40% instead of us paying 100%.
Wow.
So
they'll have the cap, I guess the upfront, and then we'll split the rest 60-40?
So, yeah, the company will pay 60, we'll pay 40 in case it goes up over, it'd have to go up over like 10% for that to happen. But,
yeah.
But, it's all possible in this day and age. So, other than that, one thing that we fixed for them was they didn't get sick days until after they'd been there a year to a year and a half.
Damn.
Wow.
Depending on when they got hired. So if they got hired in June, they would have to go to June. They'd have to go a year to start accruing. So in that first year, they wouldn't get any sick days, which in my opinion is illegal.
Yeah, I think that is illegal.
And then they would have to go to January to get front loaded. So they would have to basically
a year and a half.
Go to a year and a half.
Fucking crazy. 18 months?
Before they, depending on what month they got hired.
Wow.
To be able to use a sick day. So we did put in the language that you accrue 1 hour for every 30 hours work per the state law. Perfect. And able to use it on the 90th day. So we put that language in there. We fixed that. Jury duty, I think they only got 1 day period, the life of the contract.
Wow.
We ended up giving them 5 days per year for the term of the agreement. So they'll get 15 days in the 3-year agreement.
Okay.
Some other stuff that we fixed. I think bereavement leave, we got them to take out the qualifier. The state law did move to 5 days. It doesn't specify whether or not it's paid or not.
Yeah.
In their contract, they got 3 days and then 2 without pay if they had to go over 300 miles.
Okay.
We took the qualifier out for 300 miles, so everybody will get the 5 days. Only 3 will still be paid, but they'll get the 5 days. They don't have to go out of state or over 300 miles to get it. So, yeah,
nice.
We did a lot of good things in there.
Awesome. And how did
I think around 79%.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Awesome. 79%. That's not bad. At the end of the day, you're never going to make everybody happy. We've talked about this on the show before, but 75% ratification is a pretty damn good vote.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Their biggest raise I think they had prior to this contract was 70 cents.
Wow.
Or
you got them
75 cents.
You got them 225 year 1.
Yeah, so ultimately the economic increase was around 27-28%.
Nice,
off the top of my head over 3 years, which is pretty good. Inflation you figure was 9% year over year.
Yeah,
a little less the year before that. So the contract actually kept up and surpassed the inflation rate. So that's a good thing, right?
Totally.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah.
Well, awesome, dude. I mean, we won't take up too much of your time. I know it's the weekend and you're doing yard work, but I really appreciate you getting on and kind of sharing with us. You know, us being a general local here in 952, we kind of forget all the little contracts that we have, and no one knows more than you since you negotiate most of them. But, you know, it's kind of interesting just hearing, you know, all the white paper contracts that we have. So we appreciate you getting on, John, and thanks again.
Absolutely. We got I got like 7 other ones I have going at the same time. Monday I'll be with FXI.
All right.
Which used to be a Fomex.
What time do we start that? Because I'm going to go with you.
Well, we've already had 2 sessions. That company is basically saying they don't have any money.
Of course not.
So we'll, you know, Spicer's was the same way. They were offering them stuff with the increases that they'd actually be taking pay cuts, but we ended up getting a pretty good deal. FXI will be the same. We'll get them a good deal.
All right.
But I'll be in with them Monday and Tuesday, and I'll be at the hall. So 9 a.m. Monday, Tuesday at the hall. If you want to step into that bargaining with me, that's fine. And if you want me to come and finish the show and you come finish my yard work, I'd be good with that too.
Yeah, as long as I get to drink your beers.
All right.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, dude. Thank you again for coming on.
Cinco de Mayo.
All right, brother. All right, George. Thank you so much, you guys.
And if
Thanks,
you,
Sean.
Just so you don't forget, that's my boss.
That's my boss.
All right, John. We'll talk to you later, brother. All right, bye. Yeah. So I mean,
So he's doing yard work. Do you think that John Green drives a John Deere lawnmower?
possibly.
And then he cross out the deer and just writes green on it.
Possibly. Yeah, that's a good one. I would shit.
Right.
I should probably get one, huh? One of those riding mowers.
One of the riding ones, yeah. It's
yeah,
dope.
a John Deere, and I'll just
John Deere. We'll put John
cross
Green
it
on
out,
it.
and then I'll just put John A. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Well, so that was obviously one of the contracts that just got ratified. Sounds pretty damn good.
That's cool.
Another one is OCTA. I know
it's a big one.
We're about to get a call and go through that with Eric Jimenez. At the end of the day, I'm not really sure how if we actually what do you call that? If we recommended the contract, at the end of the day, the members kind of voted that contract in. I think a lot of them, they have gone on strike quite a bit, you know.
Yeah.
I think we've had 2 strikes in the last 3 years.
3 years with OCTA.
At least they, you know, if not participated in with the mechanics, right? They definitely honored. So there's a lot going on there, but I think the majority of people voted that one in. I'm not sure if we recommended it or not, but something that we'll go over with Eric in a little bit here as soon as he gives us a call.
That sounds good.
Anything else you wanted to go over?
I mean, the only other thing I wanted to talk about was from the Teamster newsroom. Teamsters and members of Congress take on the Amazon safety crisis. So I guess Warehouse Worker Protection Act would rein in dangerous warehouse quotas. So I guess Amazon is notorious, you know, for setting up quotas for, you know, drivers and inside building workers. And their injury rate is 76% higher than the rest of the warehouse industry, which is fucking crazy. And a lot of that comes because like they have an insane quota that they're pushing on their members. So Amazon workers are organizing with Teamsters Union to demand industry standards that put workers' lives and safety ahead of the corporate profits. So they're pushing to change the safety measure to basically, they're still going to have a quota, but they're not going to be disciplined for not making that quota, you know, and putting aside safety. So hopefully that goes through, you know, because I mean, they're doing a lot now. So I think this was
it's crazy. I think that like Amazon has made us regress so far within the labor movement.
They push a lot. They push it back a lot.
You know, just the basically slave labor force.
It's basically slave
right?
labor. Yeah.
Cheap labor. Yeah. And then unsafe conditions, long hours. I mean, you've seen the videos of the Amazon drivers taking
they
shits on people's driveways.
Yeah. They basically turned that middle class position into a low paying, dangerous job. Yeah. You know, and they fucked that whole thing up. So
I mean, I hope they put the nails to them. I know we, you know, as the Teamsters in general have been
trying to
organize and getting, you know, building worker power and all that stuff. And they've definitely had some headway. Now, are we where we want to be? Not at all, but
Not even close yet.
You know, we're making some moves. So,
But they're a big company.
look out,
It's
Amazon.
they're a big company. It's gonna be hard to.
Fuck you, Jeff.
Go hide on the moon, you
Fuck
little
you,
bitch.
Jeffrey. Fucking guy. But yeah, we'll pop back on when we get a call from Eric.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, look who's calling, George.
There we go.
Eric Jimenez,
What's going on?
Secretary Treasurer, Local 952, package rep for the IBT. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hanging in there.
Also,
It's a
my
Sunday.
boss. I forgot.
Yeah,
My boss.
Also the boss.
Hanging in there. It's a Sunday, trying to get a little bit relaxing time before we start up again tomorrow.
Yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
My Cinco de Mayo is consisting of relaxing a little bit, but and maybe a taco.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's going to be any beer involved.
No, I hear you. Take a breather, I guess, before we start it up again.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were kind of discussing before you called the OCTA contract. Now, I don't know. I know there's, you know, obviously, even we talked to John earlier about the Spicer paper contract.
Correct.
You're never going to make everybody happy. But so what were, you know, some of the details and of the OCTA contract? I mean, I wasn't even sure that we actually recommended it at that point, but it was their last best and final, correct?
Correct. Yes, it was. So I mean, the way it went with the OCTA is, you know, first and foremost, we had, you know, a committee made up of stewards. Some were from the Santa Ana base, and some were from the Garden Grove base, along with Frank being the chief negotiator, and our some of our legal team, Donna, being in there. I stepped in at the very last meetings to make sure things were going around correctly and everything was going smoothly. But yeah, it was their last best and final offer. You know, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, prior to us starting negotiations, I was there at the first meeting, and this is really, really important. That what I'm going to say is, the first time we sat with OCTA, I made it very clear, along with the negotiating team, that we wanted a contract on or before the expiration date, which was April 30th of 2024. Now, the reason why this is so important is because as long as the stewards, and some of our stewards have been there over 20 years, as long as they can remember, there's never been a contract that has been settled prior to the expiration date. It's always went weeks, months, sometimes over a year past the expiration date. And throughout that time, the County of Orange, along with the OCTA board, has always stated that they don't pay retro pay, which everybody knows what retro pay is. So as long as we can remember, and as long as our stewards can remember, and the members, a lot of the members, they have always said it's the worst feeling going past the expiration date, knowing that this county is never going to give us retro pay. So ultimately, yeah, I mean, we're getting paid, but
they got a couple free years without raises and pension
Exactly.
increases and
pension increases, raises. You know, every day we go past the contract expiration date, you know, those members are eating that money, and there's really no incentive for OCTA to bargain a contract, because they know they're not on the hook for any money. As we know, compared to like Albertsons or UPS, if we go past the contract expiration date, we demand retro pay.
yeah, where's my retro check?
Exactly.
There's my retro check.
Exactly. OCTA has got that, and that was what we made very clear on the first day that we sat down. I made it very clear to the OCTA board that we will not go past the expiration date, that they will give us something on or before the expiration date. And this was the first time, and like I said, now I'm not speaking for them. This is the first time the steward said, this is the first time we can remember anybody ever having accomplished getting a contract for us to vote on prior to the expiration date. So that just alone right there was a huge win for our members. They didn't have to, they expressed very very adamantly that they didn't want to go past the contract expiration date. Now, and you'll hear all the hoopla and all the twists in the words. Some people are out there already saying, this was a bad contract. We no different than UPS. We had a group of disgruntled members that just have an axe to grind with leadership or don't like the Teamsters whatsoever. They were out there before the contract even got out to the membership. They were out there saying, vote this down.
Vote what down? We don't even have any numbers yet.
And that's what I'm saying. They were telling members to vote it down. Don't trust the Teamsters, which is just unfortunate because anybody out there in a leadership role or even a steward or even just not even a steward or a leader, just a vocal member that has the ears of the members out there, their job is to be truthful and transparent with the membership out there and give them a fighting chance rather than just say, no, vote it down. Because if these guys strike or they don't strike, whatever it may be, they sit back and say, we got people to strike. And then you're like, okay, well, hey, now that you ran your mouth and told people to vote no, even before they knew anything, are you going to get them back to work? And they're like, nope, that's the union. Yeah. So,
are you going to help them with their bills?
Yeah, exactly. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Yeah. But either way, we took a position that it was a fair contract. Was it something to hooray, hurrah over? No, but it was a 14% raise in the, it was a 5.5 in the first year, a 2% in the second year, and a 6.5 in the third year. They got a lot of vacation change, a lot of bidding process changes in their contract, just a lot of good changes. And I know one of the things that's brought up that's just completely untrue, and it was untrue last time around, is for those people that don't know OCTA, they actually have two different pensions, I understand. So they have the Western Conference pension, which is a Teamster pension, but they also have what they call OSERS. It's a county-provided pension that is mandated by the state of California.
Interesting.
So and the Teamsters aren't the union, nor the county of Orange could go out there and try to negotiate higher rates for the OSERS pension or try to decrease the amount for OSERS pension. The state sets the bar on how much the company or the county of Orange OCTA has to put into this OSERS pension.
Oh, interesting.
And believe it or not, the members actually put some out of their own paycheck. And like I said, this is mandated. There's no me, Frank, John Green, Charles.
There's no negotiating that. It's
no, and we went to classes from OSER, the actual people that work with OSERs, and they actually laid it out on the line of why we can't negotiate or bargain over this because they said this is exactly the way it is. So long story short, what I'm trying to get to is there's people out there saying, wow, look, we didn't get a pension raise. No, the committee said, hey, we agree that we get a little bit in the Western Conference to make up, to make a little extra money when we retire. We're going to have a little bit of extra cushion. But it's been vocal through last contract and this contract that we're already getting OSERS money. We're already getting money from the county and from the state to put into this OSERS pension. As for the Western Conference, by all means, if you can get a little bit more, that would be awesome.
That's like supplemental at that point, right? I mean,
exactly. It's almost like a supplemental. Perfect way to put it, John. The problem with it is not a problem. The problem with it is people don't understand this. So when people say out there, "Oh, the Teamsters didn't get a raise on the Western Conference," it's actually the position of the members, and it's actually the position of the committee that, if we can get a little bit more on our supplemental pension, we would like to, but make it very clear, do not shave money off of our wages to get that pension. You know what I mean? We're already putting money into our OSERS pension out of our pocket. The county's already putting money into a pension for us to get. We enjoy the fact that we get a little bit more through the Western Conference, but we would rather see that money put into our pension. Straight into our wages. So when you have people out there saying, once again, we don't get attention into the Western Conference. It's like, well, hey, whoever's saying it, hey, Mr. Sparty Pants, Mr. Know-It-All, do you know that they have 2 pensions? Do you know most of the time the membership from OCTA says, hey, if you can throw a cherry on top of the cake and get us a little bit more into the Western Conference, awesome, but don't do it if it's going to take away money from our wages. We'd rather have it on our wages. So, like I said, it was a fair contract. There was no takeaways, and let me say that very loud and clear. There was no takeaways. Everything in that contract that was changed was
concessions.
Yes, exactly. The good old, but there was nothing taken away from the membership.
Yeah.
Everything in that contract was a benefit to the membership, and the stewards. And luckily this time around, we had a very good steward team put together. And believe it or not, as much as, myself, Frank, as much as we want to fight to beat the shit out of the company and to shake that crystal ball, to shake that 8 ball and ask the question, is there any more money past the last, best, and final offer? Yeah. As Teamsters, we always believe there is. When the company comes to us and says, this is our last, best, and final offer, we as Teamsters, it's in our blood to think, bullshit, you got more, and I want to beat you up for it.
There's a couple more last, best, and finals
in
there.
A couple more drops out of you.
Yeah, and it was funny because, out there to the membership, the people that were screaming, vote no before you even see it, they were like, this isn't even the last, best, and final offer. And I fielded a couple phone calls from our members, and they said, Eric, well, we're being told this isn't the last, best, and final offer. I said, well, let me just explain to you what a last, best, and final offer is. Pretty much it's the last. This is where the company comes to you that says, we have no more. We are not giving you any more. We have no more. This is the best we can do. At that point, we take it to the membership and say, hey, this is what it is, and you guys have the right to vote on it. Now, back to the last, best, and final offer and about me fielding phone calls with some of these members, I told them, I said, do you think that the company comes to the Teamsters, comes to the union, they say, hey, guys, we want to let you know we're at the third last, best, and we're at the third
last, best, and final.
Yeah,
3 weeks in running.
And if you vote no on the third, we'll give you the second. And then at the end of the day, we say you're gonna give us everything you have.
Yeah.
Until the very last drop. And that's what some of the people out there were saying. Well, it's not the last. We're being told that you guys can still go to the table. And I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, well, where'd you hear this from? They're like, well, I'm getting it off the internet. A certain, a few individuals that just have an axe to grind with membership, or with the Teamsters Union as a whole, or with leaderships telling us that, there's still room to bargain. And I said, no, that's what a last, best, and final offer is. Yeah. Now, by all means, again, the Teamsters always think there's a little bit more, and that's in our blood. But that's where it goes from, this is what the company is putting on the table, to, okay, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if there is any more there. I would love to think there is, but I can't promise you there is. But if you're willing to roll those dice and you're willing to take the gamble, the Teamsters will support you on that gamble. We will roll that dice with you. But remember, we are here to be transparent with you. We're here to tell you what we think is in the best interest of you and the rest of the membership. And that's where I go back to the committee of OCTA. These stewards were very mature this time. They took a leadership role in terms of being out their yards and saying, hey, yes, we wish we could be getting up to $40, $45 an hour. Yes, we wish there was more money there. But do we put 600 bus drivers on strike when this contract is a fair contract? It's it's something to look forward to. It's something to build up. One other thing that they got is they got shift differential. So for bus drivers that drive certain parts of the night, which we all know, bus drivers during the day, whatever time of the day they do, there's safety concerns out there for our bus drivers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But the one thing we did get for our bus drivers is shift differential. So if you drive past 2 o'clock, or if your shift starts from 2 and after, you get a 50-cent shift differential. And then if you go into the hours of 6 p.m. and past, you get another 25 cents added onto that. So
not bad.
Some of these people, and believe it or not, never happened. It's never been there before. The committee took it and said, hey, it's something we can build off over the next couple of years, but at least we got in the contract. And again, you're going to have some people say, well, really, that's all you got with 50 cents? And it's like, well, you didn't have anything.
Yeah, we went from 0 to 50. I mean, give me some fucking credit. What do you want me to go from 0 to $10? That's what fucking people think sometimes. And I'm like,
and that's kind of where we are at, you know what I mean? But like I said, in terms of the contract, you know, we let the membership vote on it. We heard the membership loud and clear from the beginning that they wanted to be at a certain amount of money by the time the contract ended. You know, and no, it fell a little short than what the committee wanted, but the committee was adamant about saying, with everything else we got in this contract, including all the vacation language change, including all the bidding language change, including the shift differential, including 410 routes that are now promised to us, you know, which a lot of senior drivers will be able to benefit from 410 routes. You know, we think this is a good contract, and we're not going to go out there and sell ourselves short. We worked our asses off to get this. We think it's a fair contract. We will let you guys decide on it, and whatever route you decide to go, we'll roll with you. If you vote it in, we think it's a decent contract. If we vote it down, then hey, we're willing to fight with you. The members voted it in. And that's the way it is. You know what I mean? So,
and that's really what it is at the end of the day, right? I mean, you put it to a vote, and the members voted. I mean, it's what more can you ask for?
And you're correct, you know what I mean? And that's what we did. Like I said, unfortunately, I think by the time, and it really doesn't do any benefit to our stewards, and I think a lot of our stewards that maybe have been a little questionable in terms of how to negotiations work, and you know, some of the stuff that is said by the never ever going to make these people happy type people, or ever, you know, just the haters of Teamsters, the haters of the union. You know, I think they came in thinking like, well, let's see if what they've been telling us is really true. I'm confident when you guys say that some of these stewards that walked in now walk out with a different perspective of how negotiations work and how the union supports them, because they walked out like, man, we worked our ass. I mean, think about it, guys. We started this back in, I think it was the end of November, beginning of December.
Wow.
So you're looking at a good 4 or 5 months. 5 months we worked and beating up this company, you know what I mean? And, you know, I think a lot of these stewards stepped out of those negotiations saying, hey, everything that people say about the Teamsters and everything that people say specifically maybe about Frank Sevilla or anybody else is completely untrue. These people fight for us. I was part of that fight. And I think, like I said, for once, I think they were mature enough to say, I'm not going to let anybody tell me that I didn't do 110% for our members.
A new appreciation.
Exactly. And you know what? And it's true. You know, it's sad because after last contract, the membership, some of the select few that just wanted to bash the union and bash the contract no matter what happened, you know, they called for a steward election. And I think some of the new stewards that were in that won the election, which, hey, we'll work with anybody that gets elected. But I think some of these stewards that stepped in were looked at as, you're going to go in and you're going to tell the Teamsters and the company bullshit. We got our stewards in there now. And some of these stewards, like you said, have a new appreciation for the bargaining process and for how much work we put into negotiations and how much it takes from attorneys to proposals to explanations as to why we're fighting for. I think they came out with a new appreciation. And it's funny now because now you have the people that were screaming, we need new stewards last contract. They got their stewards in this contract, and now they're telling, get rid of those stewards now. Get rid of them. So it's like, you know what? Okay.
But those people never want to step up and be stewards.
The message has been very clear that we are only going to accept what we want. If you don't get what we want, or you don't tell us the answer that we want to hear, then you're wrong. Get a new steward. And it's like, that's just not what a union's for. But like I said, OCTA, good contract. Obviously the members were happy with it. We were there all day. Tuesday voted in the yards. Had plenty of our members come up and say thank you. We had some say thank you. We don't know if we're going to vote for it, which I think they voted no, but at least they said, hey, thank you for all the work that you do. We know you guys fight for us. And then you had the other chunk that came up and said, hey, thank you. We appreciate it. We know you guys work hard. And then you had the very select few that, had a vote no campaign going on. Didn't even know what the contract read. And when you ask them, hey, well, why are you voting no? Oh, because I just don't like it. And you're like, okay, so that's...
Because I want to strike, which is never the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the most intelligent answer is, so why are you voting no? Oh, because I want to, or because somebody told me to.
Yeah.
And you're like, gotcha. You know what I mean?
Well, I was on Facebook earlier.
Yeah.
Facebook is
exactly.
ridiculous.
So, like I said, good contract. We'll be back at the bargaining table with them in 3 years. And believe it or not, this time it's a true 3 years because, like I said, it's always went weeks, most of the time months, or even a year and over, and we're usually back at the bargaining table with them pretty quick. But this year we actually got a contract prior to the expiration date, which the membership demanded, and we got them to vote on a contract before the first time in a long time, or if ever, a contract prior to the expiration date. So,
nice, dude.
Just good news. Good news for Local 952. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, that's really why we wanted to get you on and just kind of go over. You're never going to make everybody happy, and unfortunately, with this group, a lot like UPS, we had, people wanting to vote down something we didn't even have yet. And when you make up your mind like that, and you just demand to be a contrarian.
It's so hard to get them to change their mind.
It's just you start off on the wrong foot because
Yeah.
a strike is never the goal. That's not the goal. The goal is a good contract, a fair contract, and to keep the members working. That's the goal.
Yeah, and you know what? And if true or not, you know what I mean. We're looking into it, but I mean, we just got a day or two after we ratified the contract. And public sector, that's another thing one day we'll have to get into. Public sector is a whole different thing from private sector.
Yeah.
Public sector is, there's a lot of more hands in the money pot than when it comes to a private company. The Board of Supervisors has to approve of how much money is. The budget from the state, it plays a role in it. The budget from the federal, from the feds plays into it, on how much money is coming in. But what I was getting to is about 2 days after we ratified the contract, one of our councils sends us I guess something published in the papers where hey, the state of California and the feds cut budgets to transportation, the transportation authorities across the state.
Oh wow!
So it's like hey, like I said, you never really. It's a crystal ball that you're looking into, and nobody can ever read it. But who knows? I mean, if these budgets do come, you know what I mean, and we were on strike, there's always that belief in your head. Well, shit, can you imagine if they would have been, hey, you guys are striking, and we just got our budget cut? Yeah. Good luck on trying to get what you guys are looking for.
Yeah, right.
And to be honest with you, we may have to take a little bit back because we spoke, too early. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, is that a guarantee? No. But like I said, that's negotiations. I mean, it's a crystal ball. We do our best for what we can get. But like I said, and I think you said John talked about Spicer's. Spicer's a great win for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Over. Those guys are going to get over $4.50 over 3 years. The biggest wage increase.
$2.25 the first year. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I think their last wages were hovering around like the 65-cent, wage increases. You know what I mean? These guys went to $2.25 in the first year. You know what I mean? So I know the stewards over there supported it and it passed. So, but yeah, like I said, good news. I appreciate you guys once again being on your podcast and getting the truthful information out straight from the horse's mouth rather than saying this is what I heard from so and so.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? The guy that never shows up to a union meeting has never stepped on a picket line or has never did anything to help out the Teamsters. But hey, guess what? He is he's the Messiah and he knows what he's talking about.
I'll have to post the whole show or some clips on Facebook. Maybe then people will listen.
Yeah, exactly.
But thanks, dude. We appreciate you taking the time out on your weekend. Obviously, we're here at Cinco de Mayo, so at least enjoy one beer maybe for us. But thanks for your hard work. We appreciate you. Obviously, you're my boss, so I kind of have to say it. But
Yep.
George is a member, and he appreciates you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Last thing, but before I let you guys go, remember next Saturday we have a UPS shop steward contract enforcement training. So all those guys can get out there.
That would be tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow. So this will be released Friday. That'll be tomorrow for us. But we'll put out some reminders on our social media there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a shot of tequila, have a taco, and enjoy your time off while you can get it.
All right. Thanks,
sure.
brother.
Thanks,
appreciate
Eric.
you.
Have a good day,
We'll
guys.
talk to you later.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
All right. Well, George, I think we've just about come to the end of our time. Obviously, we got a lot of good information from Eric. We're never going to make everybody happy. There's always going to be some naysayers, but at the end of the day, the membership voted it in. It is what it is. Same thing with Spicer. I think they got a fairly good deal. And, I think that's a wrap. You got anything else for me, George?
That's it.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in every week. We appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram, which has been kind of a little dead lately. We've been busy. Follow us on Instagram, ocst.952.
You can email us at ocst.000@gmail.com with all of your questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to get to us. Be great.
Yeah, ideas for the show. We still need guests.
Yeah, we still need guests, so we always
All right.
need guests.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.